right, all things lending. I'm here with Mike Klein with Guaranteed Rate. He's our in-house lender. Check out, they've got some really great aerials of Sarasota here in this little office too. It gives you a nice little pleasant vibe here. So we're going to cover a few things with you, some lending tips, some questions that come up in the market, and a little bit of some predictions for 2022. All right, guys. 3 tips from Mike, starting with tip number 1. What would you advise buyers in the 2022 market?
Well, Shayla, the thing you might notice that happens quite often is people like to find a property and then they deal with the financing after the fact.
Absolutely.
It helps things immeasurably by going ahead and getting pre-qualified upfront, speaking to somebody like me. It doesn't even mean that I need to review your financials in full, but just to get an idea where you're coming from if you're W-2'd or self-employed. But for me to review and to know that you have the ability to make an offer with financing.
Good advice. All right, tip number 2, what you got?
So going beyond just getting pre-qualified, what's not a bad idea in today's market is to get a full loan commitment before you go ahead and make an offer on a property. And this means on top of a loan officer like myself reviewing your information, that will actually have a loan underwriter go through all of your financials, give us a loan commitment. So when you do make the offer, the list agent's aware that this isn't just somebody that has been pre-qualified, but they also have been underwritten and are ready to go. It's really the next best step the next best step before a cash offer.
Okay, and I mean I can attest to that because and also it would involve a conversation with myself and the other agent involved, because then they're not just looking at a piece of paper like, oh, just another pre-approval letter. So having that extra language in the letter itself and my further clarification as a longtime agent here, they know me, and you know, you've got an in-house longtime lender right there giving you great documentation that could definitely set you apart. I mean, we know that there's multiple offers right now, and to stand apart from everybody else. And you know, if you're not doing the cash deal but still obtaining the financing, which we can do, you're seeing a lot of that too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And still simultaneously get the loan, but that really will be quite valuable. Good tip.
Thanks.
All right, guys, tip number 3. This is a really, really good one. I never even thought of this, so kudos to you. I actually haven't had any lender bring this up. Tell us what tip number 3 is.
Sure, Shayla. So what I like to do is reach out to the list agent after I make an offer. After you make an offer with my letter, and let them know maybe something about the buyers, that they're super strong, maybe add a little personality to it,
Sure.
Anything to set them apart from maybe all of the other offers that are going in.
And that's amazing. I think that is such a brilliant and creative idea. And you had mentioned that you would communicate that ahead of time with the other agent.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
I would never want to step on the toes of my buyer's agent or whatever. So I'd make sure it was okay and reach out and work alongside you.
Sure.
With that.
I mean, for my personality and the way we work, communication is key, and I personally love that. As long as we know and we work, we know how each other work. I think that's a proactive approach, and again, sets you apart from other lenders, I will say. So
Great.
Thank you for that.
Agreed.
All right, next up, of course, the $1 million question, the white elephant in the room. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen with rates, what's happened thus far here toward the end of January 2022 already. So tell us what you're seeing, what your thoughts, and what your predictions are.
So interest rates have taken a big jump just in the last few weeks. We've gone from the lower 3s to the mid 3s. Still historically pretty strong rates, but
True.
a big jump in a short amount of time, which doesn't happen too often. We are thinking that rates could be even closer to the 4s in the next few months or so,
Okay.
but they're a bit flat right now. One interesting thing that's happening right now are jumbo rates are actually lower than conventional rates. It doesn't happen too often,
Oh.
but right now jumbo rates are still in the lower 3s. so doing better than conventional
And we
rates.
have quite a bit of jumbo properties out where we are, especially Longboat Key, Lido Key.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Something else that's happened, loan limits do go up annually, and they've gone up to $647,200 just
Okay.
this year.
Okay.
That was a 100K jump that they went up, which is pretty significant. That does help us up in this area. No, conventional loans are a lot easier to get through than jumbo loans, so that was a nice development.
And I've heard too, and this is just from my, learning about from podcasts, talking to people like you, and just word on the street, I guess. Where do you see it ending through the year? Like, do you think it'll be around that 4 percentile or
I would
above?
say rates probably won't move above 4%.
Okay.
We've got another 11 months or so, but probably hover around the 4% mark for a while.
That's kind of what I was hearing and trying to express to people
Yeah.
as well, so thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least, I want to start introducing crypto into the conversations. I don't really know much about cryptocurrency. I probably should, but it's just not in my wheelhouse. But I think it's something that we need to address. And I know it's not really in our market, I guess, yet. But do you know anything about when that might enter into our real estate business here, if at all?
So Shayla, crypto doesn't have too much to do with the mortgage market right now. Crypto is an asset, and it is something that we have gotten some information on, that the use of that asset is something that can be
Utilize and maybe
it can be utilized in the mortgage financing.
As an asset, you were saying earlier, like as in to show what you have as an asset to offset.
To be
the
able to
mortgage.
use the crypto as an asset towards the
Okay.
down payment or closing costs on a purchase.
But they would have to liquidate the asset.
They
right?
would. They'd have to move it into like a checking or a savings
Okay.
account. So crypto would typically, it's pretty much something just like a checking, saving, investment, or retirement account. But because it's not regulated by the government, it's going to be looked at very differently. But it is something that is starting to be looked at as potential for my market.
Right. Something to keep an eye on, and we'll be talking to some upcoming guests. Stay tuned with that in terms of addressing that a little bit more here in the future as we get through the 2020 year. Okay, we're standing next to the Wall of Fame. These are all of our, not all of, just the showcase properties here. People walking by on our beautiful first floor office on St. Armand Circle right next to Cha Cha Coconuts. And his office, Mike's office, is right inside the Coldwell Banker office since he is an in-house lender. So how do we get a hold of you? I think you said you prefer your cell phone?
Cell number is 941-544-7174. I answer it all day, all weekend.
Don't say that now. We'll call you late. Buyers look at night on the weekend, so.
I work like a realtor. That's what I like to do.
No, 24/7.
Yeah.
I don't say that, do you? Thank you for your time.